Hey guys, welcome and welcome back. If you're new, I am Whisker, and if not, what's up? So this DIY will be about this turtleneck crochet sweater. I will be posting new DIYs every Tuesday and Friday, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also don't forget to click on the bell button so you won't miss any DIYs. So stay tuned. For this DIY, we'll be using these two yarns, Impeccable. I decided that I wanted my dress to be one color instead, so I end up using the same blue colored yarn. It's not the same yarn, but it's the same color. I couldn't find the same yarn, so I end up getting the economic yarn with that same blue color. A 5.5 millimeter hook, scissors, and a measuring tape so you can know how much chain you could chain up for your dress. I am a extra large, so if you're extra large, you could do what exactly I'm doing. So yes, let's get started. We're gonna start with the blue yarn. So we are actually crocheting the dress from up to down, down to up, and from my breast to my thighs it is 22-inch. That's how low I want my dress to be from the top of my breast. So I'm going to chain up all the way to 22 inches. I'm going to do my slip knot. And then I am going to chain up to 22 inches. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm gonna let you guys know how much I chained up. And I am 5'1", 66, so 66 chain gave me 22 inches, but I am going to do 70 chains. So 67, 68, 69, 70. All right. So now we are going to do half double crochets until we hit the end. So let's do that. When we do half double crochet, we're gonna go to the next stitch. So not the stitch that the loop is coming out from, but the stitch right next to it right here. And how to do a half double crochet is you just yarn over, you go through the next stitch, you go through, pull the yarn, you will have 3 loops, and then you pull all 3. That's how you do a half double crochet. So again, you yarn over, you go through the next stitch, and then you pull the yarn through the stitch, and then you have 3 loops, and then you pull all 3 loops, and that's how you do a half double crochet. So we are going to do single half double crochet until we get to the end. So I will meet you there, guys. Alright, so I am at my last stitch. When you crochet, make sure you hit like the very last stitch. And then I'm gonna chain 1, turn my work, and I am going to repeat what I did with the half double crochet. So I'm gonna start with the first stitch right here. So I'm gonna yarn over, go through 1 stitch, pull through, you see 3 loops, pull all 3. So this is the second row that I'm working on, and we're gonna do 2 more rows, and that right there is 4 rows of half double crochets. So I will meet you guys when I hit the 4th row. So I am at my last few stitch. All right, So I already did 4 rows. Now we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and now we're going to do something just slightly different. So now we are going to do half double crochet at the back stitch. So we're going to yarn over, and then we are going to go through the back stitch. So we're going to go through that. So this is how it look once you go through the back stitch right here. And then you pull the yarn, you will have 3 loops, and then you'll go through all 3 of the loops. So just, you know, like how I teach you guys how to do a half double crochet, we're going to do that, but we're only going to do it on the back of the stitch. So again, we're going to yarn over and then go through the back. So the hook will go in between the stitch and then to the back right here, and then we're going to pull 3 loops, and then you pull all 3. So that's what we are going to do. We're going to work through the back, and I am going to do this for the next 4 more rows. When you guys do that, we're going to do this from the beginning all the way to the end, okay? So that's how we are going to do the dress. This is not our pattern now. We're going to do this throughout the whole dress, just working the back stitch. And it's really, you know, not that hard working the back stitch. You just go in between the stitch, and then you pull the back stitch and you just work it. So this is how it's looking so far. This is how our dress is looking. So one of these ends is the top and one of these ends is the bottom. So let's just say this is the top and this is the bottom. That's how we working this. So the dress would be like this, up and down, up and down. So after we completed our 4th row, we're going to continue doing the same pattern for the next 10th row. So we're going to continue doing half double crochet at the back stitch for 10 more rows. So I just want to demonstrate it to you guys one more time. So here we go. I already just finished doing my half double crochet. Chain 1, turn your work, and then we're going to continue working the back stitch, doing half double crochets. So we're going to continue doing the same pattern for 10 rows. So I didn't complete my 10th row. I'm on my 7th row, but I did want to mention the side, guys. You know, the lines don't look even, or if it's moving inward, you could always increase so it could be back to even again. So I'm gonna continue doing my 10th row, and then I will be right back. All right, so if you hear my fan, sorry guys. So I completed the 10th row, and this is how it's looking so far. It's good. It's already covering one breast. So we are going to do the same pattern, doing half double crochet at the back stitch for the next 10 more rows, and then I will show you guys how it is looking so far. So I did say I was going to come back doing 10 more rows, but it was still kind of looking the same. So I end up doing 28 more rows, and this is how it's looking so far. and it is covering the whole front of my body, which is good. Now we going to continue doing the same pattern. I end up going to the store to find the same color. I want to do a one color dress instead of two-tone color dress, so I went to Michael's and brought the same yarn. This is what I got. It matches with the dress. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to continue doing my half double crochet at the back stitch. 15 more rows doing the same pattern, and then I will be right back, guys. So I did 57 rows so far. Okay. Now I just need a few more rows to close this part so we could have the base of our dress. It may look short, but I'm gonna add layers to the front. I'm gonna show you guys. So yeah, this is how it's looking so far. I am going to do another 30 more rows. So we did already 38, I believe that's what I said, or 37. And then we are going to do 30 more rows. In total, it should be close to 70 rows. We aiming for this to cover our whole body. So after completing 15 rows, it's starting to look like this now. It's getting a little longer, but it still doesn't quite fit me around my body yet. So I'm going to do 5 more rows, and then I'm going to close this up. So I finished my 5th row. So now I'm going to turn my work, and we are going to connect. I'm going to go through the first stitch, yarn over, you go through the first stitch, and then you go through that stitch. So you basically you're doing a slip stitch. So we connecting them by just going through a stitch, looking back to make sure you're connecting to them, and then you go through the next stitch, you pull both, or you pull through both stitches. You will have 2 loops, and then you pull that first loop into the second loop. So you're doing a slip stitch. So again, I am connecting the 2 together. We are closing it off so we could get our dress. Okay, and always make sure that they evenly connected to each other, because you do not want the dress to come out lopsided. That's embarrassing. So that's how I'm connecting the 2 together, just doing slip stitches in each stitch. Alrighty. So once I slip stitch all the way to the end, I will be right back. So you can pause this video. I'll be right back once I complete it. So I am at my last few stitches. Okay. You do your slip stitch, and then you chain 1, and then you cut this loop in half. You pull the long yarn, and then you tighten it off. So we got the base of our dress. Now we are about to work the shoulders, the sleeves. I measure from my shoulder all the way down to my wrist, and it gave me 21 inches. So I'm going to do chain up all the way up to 21 inches. So I'll be right back, guys. So I end up making 72 chain, as you guys could see. I'm gonna show you, and it's not up to 21 inches, but it stretches there, just a little stretch. I just need a little stretch and I get there. So 72 inch chains I did. Now we are going to do half double crochet on each chain until we get to the end. When you start the half double crochet, you start with the second chain, not the chain that the loop is coming out from, the second one. So pause this video and I will meet you when I get to the end of the chain. So I am at my last stitch. After that, you chain one, you turn your work, and then we are going to do the same pattern like what we did with the dress. So we're going to do half double crochet at the back loop. And we're going to do as much rows that covers your arm. I'm going to do the same pattern like you guys saw me doing with the dress, and I will be right back once I completed how many rows that will cover my arms. So I just completed my sleeves and I wanted to show you guys. I end up doing 20 rows, so you know, 10 right here and then another 10 on the opposite side of the sleeves. So, and then I attach them the same way how I attach the dress is the same way I attach the sleeves. And now we are going to attach the sleeves onto the dress now. Okay, so now we are going to attach the sleeves together. I already placed them where I want to sew. So find where you want to place the sleeves and where you want to place it onto the dress. So I'm doing my slip knot. And then I'm going to do a slip stitch. And then I am going to do one single crochet throughout the sleeves, so your sleeves could come out perfect and well aligned together. And this is how I am attaching the arms together. And do as much single crochet as much possible as you want, as long as your arms feel all nice and snug. Once you're done doing your single crochet, you chain one, and then you're gonna cut this circle here, snap it off. You pull the longer string, then you pull the short string, the short yarn, and then bam, that's how we going to attach our sleeves. So now we are going to do the top piece of the dress, and I'm just doing my slip knot again. This part is so easy. Now I'm going to do a slip stitch in the middle. And this dress is not inside out, it's just regular how I left it when I sewed the sleeve together. So make sure your dress is at the right side. Okay, now I did my slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chain. And now you turn your work to the side, and we are going to do half double crochets. We're going to start with the second stitch, and then you do half double crochet till we get here. So okay, so I'm at my last stitch, and now I am going to do a slip stitch on the next row. All right, so this is how it's looking so far. Now we're going to do a single crochet, and then you turn your work, and then now we are going to do half double crochet on each stitch until we meet here at the end. Okay, make sure you always hit the last stitch, chain 1, and then you turn your work until we get here. Make sure you don't forget the last stitch on the other side, and then you do a slip stitch. All right, and then you chain 1, and you turn your work, and you do your half double crochet until you get here, and then you chain 1, you turn your work, so you have to do your half double crochet until you get here, and then you do your slip stitch, chain 1, and then do all over. So now we are going to sew the two together, and basically what I did was just, once I got to the end, I flipped it, turned the dress around, and then put these two together. So now we are going to connect the two together, and I'm just basically going to connect them together and then do my slip knot the same way how we connected the dress together, and also the sleeves is the same way we connecting the front piece of the dress. So I wanted to make it a little longer, so basically I'm doing the same method like I did with the dress. I did a slip knot, and then I chained 17, and then I did my half double crochet until I got here, and then I did my slip stitch, and then continue doing my half double crochet, but of course I did it in the back loop of the stitch. So like the same pattern we did with the dress is the same pattern I did with the bottom, and I connected it the same way I connect the front piece of the dress, this little flappy part. How I show you guys how I connect that together is the same way I'm doing that. But probably when I finish, so I'm halfway done, when I finish, I'm probably going to sew these little open space shut because I don't like it. But yes, this is, I just want to show you guys the process of how it's looking so far. I am on my 4th yarn. Yes, 4th. This took me 4 yarns to make, but I am a extra large, so If you smaller than the extra large, then of course you're going to be using less yarn. If you're bigger, then of course you're going to be using more yarn. So this is my 4th yarn, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, and I will show you guys the final results. So I decided I wanted to do a turtleneck dress, so I sewed the sides of the dress down. All I did was just do a slip knot on each chain. I measured my upper shoulders and it gave me 6 inches, so I just sewed down 6 inches on each side. I did a slip knot in the middle of the dress, and we are going to start decreasing so we could start forming our turtleneck. And I'm decreasing by doing 9 half double crochets, and then I decrease. That's how the pattern's going to be: 9 regular half double crochets and then a decrease. I finished doing my 9 half double crochet. Now it's time to decrease. And how I'm decreasing is I'm single crocheting 2 together. So I'm going through the next stitch and then I'm pulling the yarn. You will have 2 loops, and then you go through the next stitch, you pull the yarn, and then you will have 3 loops, and then you go through all 3, and that's how you single crochet 2 together. After that, you continue doing 9 single half double crochets, and then you will decrease again. So that's how the pattern gonna be for the next 4 rows. So make sure you guys are counting the rows, because you do not want the turtleneck to be tight on your neck. Oh no, child. After you complete your 4 decrease rows, continue doing regular half double crochets around to your desirable turtleneck length. I finished my dress.